Before the arrival of Islam in the 7th century, the Arabian Peninsula was a land of diverse beliefs and practices. Polytheism, the worship of multiple gods, was widespread. Among the most prominent deities were Al-Lat and Al-Uzza, goddesses revered by various tribes. Al-Lat, whose name is thought to be a contraction of the goddess, was often depicted as a white stone housed within a sacred structure. She was associated with fertility, prosperity, and protection. Al-Uzza, meaning the mighty, was often symbolized by a sacred tree adorned with offerings and curtains. She represented strength, victory, and power. These goddesses held a significant place in the lives of ancient Arabians, their influence reaching across social and political spheres. Their importance is evident in the numerous temples and shrines dedicated to them across the region. Pilgrimages to these sacred sites were common, and offerings were made to seek the goddesses' blessings and favor. Al-Lat and Al-Uzza, along with other deities, formed an integral part of the religious landscape of pre-Islamic Arabia. Their stories, interwoven with the lives of the people, reflected the values and aspirations of a society deeply connected to its natural surroundings and ancestral traditions. The prominence of Al-Lat and Al-Uzza in ancient Arabian society is not merely a matter of historical texts and oral traditions. Archaeology provides tangible evidence of their widespread worship. Excavations across the Arabian Peninsula have unearthed numerous temples, shrines, and artifacts dedicated to these goddesses. These findings offer valuable insights into the religious practices and beliefs of pre-Islamic Arabia. One significant discovery is the DDN_B_40_S1 statue, a 9-foot-tall figure unearthed at the ancient city of Dardan. This statue, while exhibiting some Egyptian stylistic influences, possesses distinct Arabian features. It is believed to represent Al-Uzza and stands as a testament to the sophistication of ancient Arabian art and religious practices. Furthermore, the discovery of inscriptions and dedications to Al-Lat and Al-Uzza on rocks, pottery shards, and other objects reveals the pervasiveness of their worship. The 7th century CE marked a turning point in Arabian history with the advent of Islam. Prophet Muhammad's message, centered on the belief in one God, Allah, challenged the polytheistic traditions of the Arabian Peninsula. The Quran, Islam's holy book, explicitly condemned idol worship and emphasized the oneness of God. As Islam spread, the religious landscape of Arabia underwent a dramatic transformation. The Kaaba, a cube-shaped structure in Mecca, once a site of pilgrimage for polytheists and home to numerous idols, was cleansed and rededicated to the worship of Allah. Temples and shrines dedicated to Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, and other deities were destroyed, marking a definitive break from the old ways. The shift from polytheism to monotheism under Islam was not merely a change in religious practices, it had profound social, cultural, and political implications. Section 4, a modern revival on social media. In recent years, a fascinating phenomenon has emerged on Saudi social media, a growing interest in pre-Islamic Arabia and its deities, including Al-Lat and Al-Uzza. This online movement, driven primarily by young Saudis, seeks to reclaim and re-examine their nation's ancient past. Some view these deities as symbols of female empowerment, highlighting the prominent roles women held in pre-Islamic Arabian society. They challenge the traditional narratives surrounding pre-Islamic practices, often portrayed negatively, and call for a more nuanced understanding of their cultural heritage. The social media movement, however, is not without its critics. Many conservatives view the revival of interest in pre-Islamic deities as blasphemous and a threat to Islamic values. They argue that such discussions distract from the true faith and could lead to a resurgence of polytheistic beliefs. Section 5. Navigating religious identity and national heritage. The social media movement, advocating for the recognition of pre-Islamic deities, unfolds against the backdrop of a broader national identity project in Saudi Arabia. Under the leadership of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom has been undergoing a period of significant social and economic reforms. Part of this transformation involves promoting a distinct Saudi national identity, one that celebrates the nation's pre-Islamic past alongside its Islamic heritage. The introduction of Saudi Founding Day in 2022, commemorating the founding of the first Saudi state in 1727, exemplifies this effort. By emphasizing the historical roots of the Saudi nation, the government aims to foster a sense of national unity and pride. However, the government's efforts to promote a more inclusive national identity, one that acknowledges its pre-Islamic past, must navigate the sensitivities of a deeply religious society. Section 6. Historical interest versus religious revival. It is crucial to differentiate between the burgeoning historical interest in pre-Islamic Arabia and the likelihood of an actual religious revival of ancient deities like Allat and Al-Uzza in Saudi Arabia. While social media discussions might give the impression of a widespread movement advocating a return to polytheism, the reality is far more complex. The vast majority of Saudis remain devout Muslims, and the idea of abandoning Islam for ancient polytheistic beliefs is highly improbable. The interest in Allat, Al-Uzza, and other pre-Islamic deities is primarily driven by a desire to understand the nation's complex history and cultural roots. It is a testament to the curiosity of a young generation, eager to engage with their heritage in a more comprehensive manner. The social media movement, while controversial, reflects a broader trend of intellectual curiosity and a willingness to challenge established narratives.